is Denise Krebs, hashtag DNA Detective, with my very, very, very cool, sweet friend, Miss Crazy Cat Mack, aka Zombie No More, or lots of other fun zombie stuff. Ooh. So today is Authors Week with the hottest brand spanking new author, Miss Cat, and to celebrate, we have a very special llama to do a dance routine in celebration. So here we go.
So excited.
I don't need to cause you trauma. I am the rapping llama. Not there with all the drama. So save it for your mama. Christmas is the best. Better than the rest. I'm sure you might have guessed, but I am a bit upset. Let me tell you now. Listen, there's the foes. Everybody knows. That's right. I am gonna crack your toes and show you how it goes. I don't need to cause you trauma.
It's really long.
The rapping llama. But there with all the drama. So save it for your mama.
And the zombies dancing too. You cannot get any better than a dancing llama and a zombie. Am I right or am I right?
Oh, so good.
Oh, so that's our moment of fun. So let's get to the serious stuff now. This is an amazing book. You can see I've got highlights and notes and tags and flags and all sorts of goodness in this book right here. And you get to hear firsthand from the none other, one and only author of this amazing book.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, I'm so blessed.
How are you, Miss Cat?
I'm good. I'm doing great. That was so much fun. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen our stories, but so I wrote about a zombie, and Miss Denise she has a mascot that's a llama, and so we have this joke going back and forth. That's like really awesome. Anyway, so
It's fun.
but I'm doing great. So thank you so much for highlighting the book. It took me, I had a really good coach who really helped, because we all have this story that we want to tell, and it's just putting the words down. And so it took a bit, because I was really hard on myself, and it took a lot, and I started and stopped and started and stopped. So what, you're reading it right now, right?
I am.
What's your favorite part so far?
Oh, mercy, girl. I gotta find my questions so I don't lose them. I am in the section of the C right now, and very appropriate timing is all about fear and how we limit our potential, and we play too small because of fear. And I would say, I don't think I live in fear, but certainly there are people in my life who live in fear of something that impacts me. So even though I may not personally be living in that fear, I am indirectly living in the fear because of others that are around me. And so I love the fact of the way you've given the analogy of the boat and the sea and the wind, and it's just is great. I love it. And it's, even though it's a small book, don't let it fool you, because it is packed jam full of so many insightful things and so many tools that you can take. And I like books that are actionable books, because even when I do work in health coaching, like with DNA tests, I ask people, have you ever had a DNA test? And they say, yeah. And I'm like, great, what'd you learn from it? And they're like, I don't know. And so I'm like, what a waste of time and money. Where's the so what factor? Don't waste your time reading something that is just, a good read's a good read, but let's find a read that has some meat to it and some action items to it. And that's one of the things that I love and appreciate about the way that you wrote your book. It's a long answer, sorry.
No, that's okay. I appreciate that feedback, and I love your pictures and that you're getting a lot out of it, because that was my goal. I had 22 years in corporate. I, like everybody, I was told since I was little to make good grades and get a job and go to college and get a job and everything will be fine. Like the job cures all your problems. You know what I mean? Like it's this thing that it doesn't actually solve your problems. And it's not a bad thing, but in some ways it causes you to kind of, it sucks out your energy. And then you come home and you zombie. And some of us zombie through television and some of us zombie through alcohol or other things that numb us, and some of us zombie through wasting time or staring at sports or gaming or whatever. Scrolling the internet can be a zombie life thing. And you sit there and you're stuck and you're not really expanding your brain, you're not expanding your emotions, you're not reaching out and loving people the way we were created, because God tells us to love him first and others second. And so it's meant to be a journey through what I went through to get from the zombie life to what I call the mega life, where you figure out what matters and you grow what matters for people in a big way. And so that it takes you through the awkward process, which is a 7-step process. And I put it at the back so that people can take it out and have it handy, share it with others. But it's being aware of what matters, willing to go for it, gaining knowledge, growing past the fear, which is where you are right now. Then you take action. So you grow through consistent action. You're responsible to love God and others and determined. So you're the one who can live your life and you have to be determined to follow through. But I reference a lot of my favorite authors and favorite books, and it's been such a blessing. And I'm glad that you're appreciating it.
Oh, I have so enjoyed it. So I am curious. I don't know if I'm dinging somewhere. I don't know what it is.
It's mine. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to,
Okay.
somebody's writing.
I was thinking, I don't know that sound, but it's fun. I like it, whatever it is. So how did you end up choosing zombies, out of curiosity?
That is such a good question. Wow. Because I started my journey in coaching 3 years ago. And I think as I started to wake up, what I realized is I was kind of living this zombie life where you're just like, and zombies are everywhere, right? And the kids are all watching it. And so it just got me thinking. I was like, wow, I'm kind of living a zombie life. You're just going along doing what you're told, and food, give more TV, and you're not really thinking. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a numbing process, right?
Yeah. And then Mega Life, it was from my 3 words: matter, grow, and love. And they came about as a result of the amazing coaching program I've been in. So I've been a part of Coach Kibi's coaching organization, and she has several coaching programs, and you're part of that. Denise has amazing detox programs, and then Coach Nicole has amazing, like, get balance in your life while you're not, control your diet to lose weight, but it's actually not your diet, it's your mindset and your spirit and all this other stuff. And then we got Coach Sal, who helps with money. I'm not going to name it. I don't, there's so many, but the organization's great and you learn through layering. And when I was in branding class, then I was like, oh, it's mega life. So you're going from the zombie life where you're stuck and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm so stuck, I don't know where to go. I'm so stuck, I don't know where to start, to where you take these really small steps and you apply the awkward process. And then you go, you know what? I also can live a mega life. And that's different for everybody. Mine's running around on the farm barefoot, but yours may be sitting at the beach, or, you know what I mean? Going and volunteering in another country or being a missionary, or who knows what it is. It's, no offense to the television, but it's not scrolling through the TV and it's not scrolling the internet. God has way bigger plans that he's put in our heart. And we just aren't taught the skills to go and live that dream because we're living a zombie life,
Yeah, that is so true. Because as you and I were talking before we started the interview, my husband and I decided to homeschool our kids. And one of the main reasons that we made that choice was because 2 reasons. One is I was helping, before Jeff and I got married, I was helping our daughter, who was in middle school at the time, study for a test. And she said, Miss Denise, will you help me study for this test? And I'm like, okay, sure. And I think it was some kind of science test. And they were learning about photosynthesis and all the different parts of plants, and I was like, okay, I remember that from middle school science, so we're good on this. And so I started quizzing her just based on the information. And she got so frustrated with me because I wasn't asking. So they gave a study sheet, like 20 questions that were fill in the blanks. And it was a tool. You know, when I used study sheets 3 or 4 years ago when I was in school, they were a guide so that you would understand concepts. Well, when she was using it as a study guide, it was a memorization tool. And so she kept getting frustrated with me. And I was like, I don't understand why you're getting frustrated with me. I'm asking you these questions. You asked me to help you study. And she said, just read the sentence the way that it's written and don't say the word that's the blank. And I'm like, that's not studying. And so it dawned, you know, it was that awareness that the way she was being taught, and I'm not saying this about all schools or all public schools or anything, but the way she was being taught and the way she learned was not helping her truly learn. And so when we decided to pull the kids out in homeschool, one of my goals was, you know, I could really care less if you can memorize the parts of the skeleton of a shark. I care more that you have the perseverance to stick through and get it done. Or I care less that you can give me the formulas for algebra stuff. I care more that you have learned how to learn, because that's what life is. And sadly, I think that a lot of teachers who are in organized schools are, their hands are tied and they don't have the opportunity to teach life skills that are helpful. And so then we end up with this generation that potentially hasn't learned conflict resolution and problem solving and logic, and so they have nothing left but to be in that zombie life, sadly. Sorry, that was a soapbox that I probably shouldn't have gotten on in live whatever we are on here. So, but
Oh, I totally agree. Most of my family homeschools too for the same reasons. And
yeah,
um it's a personal choice and a personal decision, and it's not to beat up on the schools or the teachers or anything, but we had this whole thing about no child left behind, and it's just, in order to not leave behind, you have to make everybody on a level playing field. Not everybody processes the same way, not everybody has the same dreams, not everybody has the same hopes, not everybody has the same learning capabilities. You know, some people like art more than science. It doesn't make you a bad person, it's just what God gave you. And
right, right.
we should be meeting people where they are and helping them be their best version of themselves, instead of trying to turn everybody into a robot or a
Yeah,
zombie.
yeah.
Because I
And I
wasn't.
know I have lots of friends who teach in organized schools. And you know, I know from having conversations with many of them, they're frustrated too because of not being able to do and teach the way that they love to teach. And
Yes.
you know, I think this would be a fabulous book. You know, I'm thinking content wise, at least what I've read so far, I don't think there's anything adult content in it that would be cautious that a middle school or high school student would go, oh my gosh, I didn't know about whatever. You haven't put any of that in there. And I don't know, was that some of your like long range vision to be able to use this in a teenage space?
My passion for a while has been with young adults and teenagers, and God keeps bringing me more and more of them. I kind of speak their language. I can explain things in a way they understand, and we just get along. Probably because I'm a big kid. I'm hashtag crazy. But my target audience, or people I thought I could help the most, will be people who are like me, who are going to job, going to work every day, and they know there's more, and they're looking for more, and they don't know that all four areas are a muscle. Like, I didn't realize the spirit was a muscle. I
Mhm.
knew about heaven and hell and God, but I didn't, like, I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't building it like it was a muscle, and I was living a life on flat tires. The emotions are also a muscle. So think about it. We have a spirit, we have a heart, we have a body, and we have a brain. And no one lives without all four. And if you're not building all four, your life probably feels like you're riding on flat tires. And the reason is because you're not finding ways to get balance. And you're probably thinking, yeah, okay, that sounds great for you because now you're free. Well, you know what? I also had a job where I worked 60, 70, 80 hours a week. And I thought, if I do one more thing, I'm going to break. But I had to realize that I had to take 30 minutes a day for myself. And that's all it took when I started. 30 minutes a day for myself was going to change my path, and it was going to get me confidence to be able to go the next step and the next step and the next step. So it's small changes that change. But then the second thing is the kids, younger people. I think, how different would my life be if I had known a bunch of this stuff when I was little, when I was younger, when I was a young adult, when I could use the information for good instead of beating myself up for most of my life for a lot of things, the way my emotions were screwed up and I wasn't processing properly. If I understood this, what could I have done? So I would love to teach young adults and teenagers. Maisie's in my zombie class right now, Kibi's daughter, and she loves it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, that I didn't even think about it, but Kibi brought her and asked if she could come, and she's getting so much out of it. I thought, you know what, this is my other group of people, and I've been praying about how we can reach out and help a lot more of the younger people. So,
Yep,
'cause they,
absolutely.
I mean, we already are in the zombie apocalypse. How many kids are walking, right? They are. They don't talk to their friends. They sit here like this. So we've got a zombie apocalypse going on. We still don't know it
That's
yet.
right. That's right. And with all the, I still remember, was it probably 5 or 6 years ago? No, it's more than that. It might have been 10 years ago. The Jane Eyre book, Pride and Prejudice, came out. Have you seen it? There's, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're talking about this. My brother is gonna like slip a gear. I'm gonna have to tag him on this video. So there were two movies that came out. One was called Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer, and
Okay.
the other one was called Pride and Prejudice Zombie something or other. And the author, of course, I was not a Pride and Prejudice, avid reader. My sister-in-law was, and it was like the holy grail of literature in her world. And so when the writer of this movie came out and they took the story, Jane Austen, if I remember correctly, they took her literature and they interspersed this underlying story about zombies, and then they made it into a movie. And my brother and I conned my sister-in-law into taking her to see it one Thanksgiving when it opened, and she about killed us. But it was hilarious.
I'm going to have to look that up. That
Look
is
it up.
so.
It's pretty funny. In the zombie world, it's pretty funny. But
Well, I'm thinking my niece is big time into Jane Austen, and my aunt has seen all the movies, and she has one that's her favorite.
mhm.
And then, did you see us when we were dressed up a few weeks ago
I
in the picture?
did.
That was a Jane Austen dance.
Yeah, because I remember you said that your
Yeah.
aunt made all those
She did. She
dresses.
did.
Yeah, they're
Yes.
beautiful. And was it your brother in a kilt?
It was my cousin's husband.
Cousin's husband. Okay. It was
Yeah.
of course,
Um,
yeah, my high school marching band wore kilts. So personally
Ah,
conquered the kilt
that's
Irish
cool.
world. And I think red hair comes from Irish or something. I don't know. But anyway, we digress. Okay, so let me see here. What other questions I want to ask you about your book? Oh, I know. So share with us a little bit about the journey. Was it hard to write a book, or was it a piece of cake?
It was, this is an interesting question. So, back when I first started my journey about 3 years ago, I knew I had a book in me, but I didn't even know where to start. And so then I started coaching with Kibi, and praise God, he brought me to her because she's just been such a blessing. And she knew before I did that I was going to be an author and a coach, which was kind of cool. And so then I was like, well, I kind of had this book. I wanted to call it Awkwardly Beautiful, but I mean, I just had the name and I didn't get started. So she started trying to help me. And I wrote, it took me about 6 months in total, which I guess compared to a lot of people, that's not a long period of time.
For the whole
But
book?
yeah. But the last part of it was, well, the biggest thing is if you follow a process. So you first off need to kind of have like a brain dump day and get all your ideas down. And then you need to have an outline. And then you just have to start writing, and you have to not allow this negative person that's inside, the inner bully, to stop you, because it's going to be like, who's going to read this book? You suck. That didn't sound very good. Start over 15,000 times to keep you from finishing it. But if you have a coach like Kiwi, it'll keep you moving ahead. And then, so the last, I guess I got pretty far along, and then I ended up kind of rejigging the chapters, and this whole awkward process came together towards the end. But that's a pretty natural thing. I understand, as people are writing books, you start to write and then you get so far and then you kind of go, oh, okay, now I've got everything down. It makes more sense this way. The last thing you want to do though, when you're on chapter 6, is start over, because that's what I felt like. That was the hard part. But I prayed about it, and God really helped me, and it was just really nice. And then once I got that part done, the last chapter wrote, and it was bam, like that. And then the cover was designed by our amazing friend, Coach Nicole, and she is brilliant at graphics. And then I went to Coach Kiwi's house, and we did it in Amazon, which is free, if you believe that. Everybody, that's the most common question. How much does it cost to publish your book? It's nothing. So what you do, right, exact same look. So you've got the time investment, and I would suggest that you get coaching from people who know what they're doing. Because if you don't know word processing and you are scared about getting stuck, having help will help you get it done. But you don't have to. I mean, you could do it on your own. But then you just set up the word processing and you put it out on Kindle Direct Publishing, and they give you what the book is going to cost to print, and you just set your price, and you get 70% of the difference in the US and 40% of the difference in other countries. That's it. Bam.
Wow.
Yeah, if everybody knew it was that easy, we'd probably have more books written.
Yeah.
So my thing is, I've been thinking as I was publishing, I was like, if we had less time on the television, less time scrolling, less time in non-productive mental activities, more time reading, you'd need more books, you'd have more authors, right? And then we would actually be moving forward our collective mental and emotional capacity, as opposed to remaining stagnant like zombies.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
Yes.
yeah, it was awesome.
Interesting. Very cool.
And the hardest part to fight is yourself. Like you know how we all have that thing that we don't want to do. It could be the laundry or the dishes or whatever. But as soon as, or the budget, and as soon as you start, then you go, that was easier than I thought. It's the same with writing. You sit down,
Well,
and
not
you go,
with budgeting. It's never easier than you think. Maybe for you. Yeah. Very cool. Let's see here. How has being an author impacted your life? I know you're still fairly new. We're still, what, 30 days from official authorship day?
Yep.
Is that right?
It's your confidence in yourself, because most detrimental thing we can do is not keeping a promise to ourselves. Because like I was talking about, that inner bully is a really, really mean person. And we will say things to ourselves that we would literally not, we would fire our friends if they talk to us that way, but we put up with it from ourselves all day long. And then we make a promise to ourselves, I'm going to eat better tomorrow. I'm going to exercise tomorrow. I'm going to spend better tomorrow. I'm going to do whatever it is. We all have our thing. And then we go, whatever, I'll start tomorrow. Whatever, I'll start tomorrow. What happens is the inner bully goes, I told you so. And so finishing the book just built so much confidence in myself, because I look at it and I go, wow, you know what I mean? God really helped me do this, because I trusted him and I did it, and I put pen to paper and I got it finished and followed it through. And if you can do this, you can do anything. Do you know what I mean? And who would have thought I would be published? And I stopped worrying about, some people are not going to like it. So what? That's not my concern. My concern is the people who it will help, because that's what it's for.
Right. And no matter what the thing is, there will always be people who don't agree with you or don't like it, or, you know, there's two camps, there's two sides to every single story. So it's a matter of, are you going to stand firm in what you know and what your values and what you believe? Or are you going to shrink to someone else's, you know, and just like that video that we watched from Danny Johnson, that who's whispering in your ear, and are you giving those people power over you or not? So it's just been so many things that I think that zombie life can speak to, and that negative inner bully, I like that word, can speak to us and keep us from doing what we were created to do, whatever that is, right?
Mhm.
I think we already answered that question. So the last question, you kind of already talked about this a little bit, but just to sync it up, if somebody is listening or watching and they think, I think I might want to write a book one day, or, I've got a book in me that maybe I want to come out, what advice would you give them that in order to get on that journey of their own authorship?
First off, reach out and just send a private message or whatever. There are ways that you could learn online. You can Google it or whatever. I mean, I listened to Brian Tracy and he had some really good advice, and it was pretty much brainstorm, write an outline. But honestly, if you're serious about it, Coach Kimmy and I can probably help you. We talked about putting together a coaching program. She is incredible at helping you get past your own blocks, and she does it without. She doesn't yell or scream. She just looks at you because you want to do it, right? She gives you that coach look that's kind of like, why are you not holding yourself accountable to yourself? You're your own CEO. And I don't know. It's like you don't want to go to like you respect your mom or you respect your dad, and you don't want to go in there and be like, oh, I'd screwed up. You know what I mean? So, so it's just awesome. And she's just amazing at it. And so she'll help you get it written, and I can help you get it published, because this is like, I was an accountant for 22 years and I know how to do word processing. So we're going to put together a coaching program that's going to help people. And we just want people to get published. You have to write it, you got to put your own words down. But when you work with people who've already been there, it kind of gives you that confidence to finish it. And I picked out Coach Kiwi because she'd already published her own book, right? So she had done it. I knew she'd been through it. I knew she could help me. So she helped me get mine written, and then she helped me figure out how to get it published. And we got a system now, and we're looking to work with some people this next year. So if somebody's serious and they want to get some coaching, then that's great. But just send me a message, and I can, there's some things online you can also try to do for free if you want to try to do it yourself. So just do it. You got to just.
When you started with Kiwi, was that the reason that you sought out a coach? Was it for the book?
I sought out Kiwi because I was an accountant for 22 years who went to GoPro, and I fell in love with the industry of network marketing.
Okay.
I heard people all weekend, it's not about you, it's about the people you're trying to help. And that's my life. Like, I have been waiting to hear that my entire life, and it just got to my heart and my soul. And that was the day, December 2016, GoPro, where I was like, oh my goodness. And I tried to learn, and I worked with some really kind, helpful people, but they came from a different path and they didn't speak my language. Kiwi has a job. She's super professional in her job, and she just speaks like I do. I need a system, I need a process, and I need somebody to help me get past my own fears. And that's why I sought her out. But from the moment we talked, she was like, oh, Kat, you're like a coach. And then we started coaching together, and then we realized that I wanted to be an author. And she was like, oh, I've published a book. Let's get that done. And it's like she meets you where you are and then helps you to get a little bit further, and then pulls you a little bit further up the hill. And then you go, oh, I did that. And a little bit further up the hill. So it's been great. Don't stay stuck. There's too many people who can help you. Seriously.
Yeah.
Right.
And you have, so we'll end this with, you have a coaching program that came out of, so which, is the chicken and the egg thing. Which came first? Did the book and then the coaching program? Or did the coaching program and then you wrote the book from it? Or are they independent?
They kind of happened sort of simultaneously. So I would start to work on the coaching program and then feel prompted to go and work on the book. So I go work on the book a little bit, and then it was kind of back and forth. I know that sounds really odd, but they're different. So the coaching program I have now is called Zombie Life to Mega Life, but it's really a starter program for younger people, or for people who are stuck like I was, and you're like, I know I want to do something different, but I don't even know where to begin. It's the small things you can do around your life so you start to figure it out. I will have a coaching program. I would recommend, you could either read the book and take that one. But I'm going to have a follow-on coaching program that's going to be more in depth in here. Once you've taken the first one and you're absolutely certain that you want to make changes in your life, then it'll be working through each section. So we'll take a chapter a week and we'll work through it together and talk about what you're finding out to help you try to figure out what you want to be when you grow up. So the other one's kind of like the baby zombie class, and this will be a more intense zombie class based on the book, if that makes sense.
It's a partial zombie, full zombie and partial zombie.
Zombie,
totally a zombie, then you start with the first one.
Well, it was the way I felt 3 years ago when somebody first said you can live a different life. It's our training. This whole go get a job is so deep, and it goes back, for me at the time I heard this, 45 years of hearing go get a job. It's like you can't just take somebody from there to go write a book and quit your job and work from home. That may not be your dream, but like there's no way somebody could have taken me from here, ripped off the Band-Aid. I'd have had a heart attack. I seriously would have had a stroke. Yeah. So that's why I say, I don't mean like literally baby zombie, but you're just like starting to wake up. It's like you realize that you're a zombie and you're like, now what do I do about it? That's what I mean. That makes sense.
I love it. I love it. Any parting words? Anything? Insights? Thoughts? Those are all my questions about book writing. Unless I forgot to ask something. The llama wants to know when it gets to meet the zombie.
The biggest thing is just don't stay stuck. Reach out. Honestly and truthfully, Denise is such a great coach with like detox. If you know people who are having issues and they are not feeling good, reach out to this community. Or you have, maybe it's not that you don't feel good. Maybe it's that your money is messed up, or you're completely like, I am scared to death of everything. We've got Wes. We've got so many different coaching programs and coaches, and the whole organization is amazing. And we truly all believe that rising tides raise all ships. So bring your ship, right? Dock it into our little area, and we'll help you go up. You know what I mean? Everybody needs different help.
Yeah. Right. Bring your ship.
Bring your ship.
E on there for those of you who are curious.
Come anchor it next to ours, and you're going to go up just by being around the group. If you start hanging around with positive people, it makes a big difference. So look at who you're hanging out with. And if you're hanging out with negative, curmudgeonly people, you're going to feel negative and curmudgeonly. If you remove your boat from that little area and you come over somewhere where there's positive people, it's going to wear off on you, and you're going to start to realize what's possible in your life as well. So that's my advice.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you. Wait, I can do this. She's been teaching me how to do this. Wait, here we go. Wait, there it is. I have to think. I'm not quite as talented with my heart-making hands yet as, but I'm working on it. There we go.
You're doing great. That's awesome.
All right. So until tomorrow, and you all may not know this, but the illustrious one and only Kimmy Whitehead is the guest author tomorrow. So all of these comments that have been talking about Kimmy here and there, you will get to meet her tomorrow, and where she talks about her book called Breaking Free, right?
Breaking Free.
Breaking Free. That's what I thought. I don't have hers yet. Don't tell her that I don't have it yet.
I reference her in here too.
Yeah. I got it. So, all right. Well, I think that is it for today. And thanks, Facebook, for stopping by, and hope you learned something. Drop a comment below if you learned something, or if you love the llama and the zombie. You know, they like love too. So we'll see you tomorrow.